really interesting question because there's a lot of press about people going into self-managed super funds, and it's a really big growing part of the superannuation market as a whole. And we do help clients that invest successfully in super funds, and that opens up new super funds. But really in recent history, probably in the last few years, we've helped more clients shut down self-managed super funds than actually start them up. And I'd probably put the question of who should shut them down or think about shutting them down in three categories, if we can distill it down to that. Probably the biggest reason why some people should think about shutting down their self-managed super fund is where it's not viable, the fund is not viable, so the cost doesn't outweigh the benefit. I guess as a rule of thumb that we use, and it ties in with ASIC and other industry people, is that if somebody's got a client or a member's got less than 500,000 in their super fund and they're not making like significant contributions, then their fund would be at risk of not being viable. More so if they've got expensive managed funds, or they might have all their funds just in bank deposits, which is something that we see very commonly. So if they've expensive managed funds, wrap accounts, very reliant on advisors and other professionals running the fund for them, they're not actually self-managing. That's a real telltale sign that the fund might not be viable and just too expensive. And expensive funds can be really, really detrimental for end retirement benefits. So that would be the biggest reason. Like say the next category would be just really where situations have changed. So maybe when the fund was set up, or for the period that it's existed so far, the fund has been fine, it's been viable, it's been doing their job. But the situation has changed. Often there's maybe one member of a couple who's more involved with running the fund. So there might have been a divorce, or that member has died, or there might be two business partners, or husband and wife, the business has been sold. So the third reason, which is actually very common, is where the members, trustees, the self-managed super fund clients just come to the point where they just really don't want the hassle and responsibility of running the fund. And we've seen a bunch of clients, especially as they're coming close to retirement, or kind of in those mid to late retirement years, they might be in their late 60s, 70s, maybe sometimes a bit older, 80s, and they just come to the point when they go, you know what, we want to travel around Australia, or just enjoy our retirement, and we really don't want to be bothered with lodging tax returns and doing fund audits and being responsible for the fund. So those are the three common reasons. Self-managed super funds, like there's a lot of things to consider when you wind up a fund. So I'd suggest get advice from an independent financial advisor, along with the accountant, maybe a commercial solicitor, with to get good proper advice to consider all the things needed for winding up a fund. So need a bit of a wind-up plan, for want of a better word. So.